Oh, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to start the today's tutorial 6 is 29th October Wednesday, and the topic, as you know, the hands-on demonstration on asymmetric analysis and characterization of microscopic imaging for the abnormality classification using MATLAB. So basically, with me, Shormishta Chakraborty will assist me uh, for some parameter she will describe and how to write the program using MATLAB. Uh, so we are going to start this one.
Yes, sir.
So this is the outline of this characterization of the asymmetric analysis. Uh, Nucleus area, nucleus perimeter, nucleus roundness. Basically, in the first lecture, we have described the different irregular shapes. If you memorize it, that the face, that is the shape features, and we have already told about the irregular shapes of the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So how this kind of area, perimeter, roundness we will uh, measure using the MATLAB programming. So is the focus of today's this hands-on presentation. So basically same thing is coming, but what is the new in this slide and what is the uh, today's contribution of this demonstration of the tutorial? Basically, we will explain how to measure the irregularities, and the irregularities are the in form of the nucleus area, their length, major axis, convex area, contour. So these all are measured, and this all are how to write the program we will discuss. So here, as a one asymmetric analysis and the characterization, you can see in the slide just some steps is shared with you: input image, segmentation, binary mask, geometric description, classification, then normal and abnormal cell. So today's motto is to describe this asymmetric analysis and the characterization. So now using the same data set, one is with the Agartala Government Medical College and Tripura University data set, and is our we have created or we have collected from AJMC. So I think from this slide, I will request uh, Shurmishta, you can proceed with
Okay, sir.
the demonstration. And for your kind participation, I think uh, will, they will that is their knowledge is enhanced. So you can start, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good
Please.
afternoon, everyone. Myself, Shormishta Chakraborty, PhD scholar of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Tripura University. So, today in this tutorial session, I will assist Dr. Minalkanti Bhumik, sir. So in today's tutorial session, we will actually explore how microscopic imaging, especially pap smear cytological imaging, can be analyzed computationally through to detect asymmetry between normal and abnormal cells. In cytology, that is in pap smear screening, the shape and structure of the cell nucleus are key diagnostic indicators. So you can see from the previous slide here the normal epithelial cell nucleus. So this is the normal epithelial cell nucleus, which is round and symmetric, while an abnormal nucleus due to dysplasia or malignancy becomes enlarged and irregular, or you can say distorted. So these geometric irregularities represents asymmetry between these two types of images or cell images. So by measuring the degree of asymmetry quantitatively through shape features, we can distinguish between normal and abnormal cells. So our main goal is to convert this visual difference into numerical evidence using shape-based features. So here you can see this is the input image. So the first step is you have to just create the binary mask of this input image. That is, you have to just segment this nucleus portion from the whole cytological image. So here it is. So for this segmentation procedure, you can use traditional image processing techniques like adaptive thresholding or other age detection techniques, morphological operators for segmenting this nucleus region. Or you can use the deep learning based architectures like UNet or any other CNN based architecture you can use to find out this nucleus area only. So this nucleus area will act as a binary mask for finding out the shape features, and then from this binary mask we can calculate these shape features. So these shape features will act as a geometric descriptor for our classification task. So using these shape features will act as a geometrical descriptor of the nucleus structure and the shape. So in this way, we can classify it using deep learning method, or we can use traditional statistical classification algorithms. So shape features of cell nucleus region gives information about the asymmetric analysis between the normal and abnormal cells. So here we have some of the cytological images from our AGMC-TU pap smear data set, and these are the respective segmented images. So asymmetric analysis and characterization of cells can be done by shape features extraction. Shape-based asymmetric analysis forms the mathematical foundation for computer-aided diagnostics systems in cervical cancer screening. We have studied these 11 types of shape-based features for identifying the basic shapes of uh, the nucleus area. So first one is nucleus area. Here, nucleus area refers to the total number of pixels inside the nucleus boundary. It represents the actual size of the nucleus. In normal pap smear cell, the nucleus is small and it occupies only minor portion of the cytoplasmic area. In contrast, in an abnormal or dysplasia cell, the nucleus becomes enlarged due to its uncontrolled cell growth. So we can say that the interpretation is that the size of the nucleus area of normal cell will be small compared to the size of the nucleus area of abnormal cell. Next, it is number 2. It is nucleus perimeter. So nucleus perimeter was calculated by counting the number of boundary points. So to find out the nucleus perimeter, we have to calculate the total length of the boundary surrounding the total number of pixels in the boundary that is the surrounding of the nucleus. It describes how smooth or irregular the boundary shape is. Sorry, here is some mistake. So next it is uh, nucleus roundness. The nucleus roundness was calculated as the ratio between the actual area of the nucleus and the length of the perimeter of the nucleus. The circle roundness value is 1. So you can see here, this is the normal cell and it looks like a circle. So the roundness value of any circle, or you can say for this example normal cell, this is also looks like a circle. So the nucleus roundness value will tends to 1. But for abnormal cells, you can see it is an irregular shape. So the value of this roundness will tends to 0, or it you can say it is far away from the value 1. So we can calculate this nucleus roundness by using this formula, which is 4 pi into area divided by perimeter square. So we have area now and perimeter also. So using this formula, we can calculate the roundness value. The next feature is equivalent diameter. So equivalent diameter is actually the diameter of a circle, but it is like a diameter of a circle. For our case, we don't have that. These shapes are not a circle for all time, so we can assume that the our abnormal cells and normal cells are also looks like circle. So using this formula, we can calculate the equivalent diameter, where the equivalent diameter equal to root over 4 into area divided by pi. So the normal nucleus will have this equivalent diameter less than the abnormal one, because the normal cell will have this round shape and its size is small with respect to the abnormal one. So the equivalent diameter is also lower than the diameter of the abnormal nucleus. Next, it is major axis length. So major axis length represents the longest straight line that can be drawn through the nucleus boundary. So to find out major axis length, a pair of points on the boundary is found whose Euclidean distance from each other is larger than any other pair of points on the boundary line. This line is used to connect these 2 points, is called this major axis length. So here you can see these are the two distant point between in this boundary of the nucleus. So we can find out this major axis length in this way, and for the normal cell also we can found it in this way. But we have to say that the normal nucleus, the major axis length is shorter than the major axis length of the abnormal cells due to the abnormal growth of this abnormal nucleus cell. Next, it is minor axis length. So minor axis length is the shortest line. It is the shortest line that can be drawn through the boundary of the nucleus. So in normal cells, the major axis length and minor axis length are almost equal because because of its circular appearance. Whereas the value of minor axis length with of the this abnormal cell will be much more different from the major axis length. You can see this is the major axis length and this is the minor axis length, where major axis length is much more longer than the minor axis length for abnormal cells, whereas the abnormal cells, and for normal cells both of these are equal. Minor axis length and major axis length both are equal. The next shape feature is elongation. So elongation, it measures how stressed the nucleus is. It will measure how stressed the nucleus is. It is derived from the major axis length and the minor axis length ratio. In normal nucleus, elongation is high. It will be closer to 1 because the cell is round, or you can say slightly oval. In abnormal nucleus, the elongation is low because the shape derives from its circularity. Okay, so we can find out the elongation using this formula: minor axis length divided by major axis length. Eccentricity. Next feature is eccentricity. So, eccentricity measures how much a shape derives from being a perfect circle. It ranges between 0 for perfect circle and 1 for straight line. And we can find out the eccentricity of any irregular shape using this formula, which is root over 1 minus minor axis length square divided by major axis length square. Next, it is convex area. So convex area is a area of convex hull enclosing the nucleus. Now, if you imagine stretching a rubber, this is suppose this is a rubber band which you want to cover the whole nucleus area, then the outermost boundary points of the nucleus, the area inside this band is called the convex area. So for normal nucleus area, this convex area will be equal to the area of the nucleus. It is same as the nucleus area. But in case of abnormal cells, due to its abnormality and other gaps and concavities, it will be much more bigger than the nucleus area. The next shape feature is solidity. So solidity describes the quantity of common pixels in the convex hull of in the region. So solidity you can calculate by area divided by this convex area. So for a perfectly smooth nucleus, solidity is close to 1. In suppose for this normal cell image, this SO, that is the solidity value, is very high, indicating the compactness and its uniqueness in the boundaries. And in abnormal nucleus, solidity decreases because why it will decrease? Because this area is not same. Area divided by convex area. So it means this is the area, this green color is the nucleus area, and the whole area that is covered by the convex hull, that is the red color pixels, are all called the convex area. The whole area is convex area. So uh, it is what it is. It will be tends to 0. Next, extend. Extend defines the ratio of pixels in the region to the pixels in the total boundary box. So it represents how much space the nucleus occupies within its surrounding rectangle. Normal nuclears are compact and fill most of the box. Most of the box is covered by this nucleus area, leading to higher extent value, and abnormal nucleus being irregularity leave empty space around them, resulting lower extent value. So bounding box is nothing but the box that covers, it is a rectangular or a square box that covers the whole nucleus area to the edges. Now you can see these values, the shape feature values for normal cells and these abnormal cells. So here for the first normal cell, the nucleus area is 410, whereas the nucleus area of abnormal cell is 4779. So this feature can be an indicator for geometrical irregularities. Next, it is a nuclear perimeter. For normal cell, it is 78, whereas for abnormal cell, it is 322. So it is much more higher than the normal one. So in this way, you can see all of these shape features are different from the shape features of abnormal cells. Whereas the roundness value of this normal cell is closer to 1, that is 0.84, whereas the roundness value of abnormal cell is 0.57, which is much more far away than the 1. That is, 1 means perfect circular. Next, it is equivalent diameter. So equivalent diameter will also be much more higher in case of this abnormal cell. So here it is for normal cell, it is 22.85, whereas the for abnormal cell it is 78.01. Major axis length is for normal cell it is 24.07, whereas major axis length for abnormal cell is 104.71. And minor axis is also much more less in case of normal cell than the abnormal one. Elongation. So elongation value for normal cell it is 0.90, and whereas for this abnormal cell it is 0.59. Okay. So eccentricity tells us how much the shape is deviates from its circularity. So for this case, normal cell, the eccentricity value is 0.42, which is less. It means this cell is less deviates from the circularity, whereas the abnormal cell is deviates much more. That's why the value of eccentricity is 0.80. Okay. And solidity, the value of solidity is 0.95, and solidity for abnormal cell is also 0.9. Then extent value for normal cell is 0.74, and the extent value for abnormal cell is 0.60. So all of this shape feature can discriminate these two cell images. Here for convex area, you can see the convex area of normal cell is 428, whereas the convex area of abnormal cell is 5271, which is much more than the convex area of this normal cell. So from this values, you can see the convex area of normal cell is 428, and the nucleus area is also 410, which are closer to each other. But in this case, the nucleus area is 4,779, whereas the convex area of abnormal cell is 5,271, which are very much different. So all this shape can discriminate the normal and abnormal cell images. So when we calculated all these shape features on this AGMC-TU pap smear cytological image dataset, then we have found this data where the nucleus area of normal cells starts from 107 to 1203, and the abnormal cell, the nucleus area starts from 1534 to 10,000. So here you can see nucleus area, nucleus perimeter, then equivalent diameter, major axis length, minor axis length, and convex area. So from these values, we can easily calculate that, or we can easily find out this. These values are not overlapping, but the nucleus roundness, these values are overlapping. Some of the images are there whose features are equal, or it is they are overlapping, features are overlapping. So we can't take, for our database, we can't take this nucleus roundness, elongation, eccentricity, solidity, and extent for classification. Next, here you can see the graph for nucleus area. So we have taken this 50 normal cells and 50 abnormal cells, and these are the values of nucleus area of each and every normal cells and abnormal cells. So this nuclear area, this is the feature which gives the discriminate the these two types of cells. Here, nucleus perimeter also gives some discriminative uh, values between these normal and abnormal types of cells. But see, roundness is it shows some overlapping values between the among the cell images. Equivalent diameter is also giving a discriminative feature, showing a discriminative feature. Major axis length also showing some discriminative features. Here also minor axis length is also we can use this as a discriminative feature for classification. But in elongation, some of the values are overlapping. Some of the dataset images are overlapping for this feature. For eccentricity feature also, the data values are overlapping. The solidity, we also can't use this. Extent is also overlapping values. So here you can see the convex area. So convex area can be used as a discriminative feature for our classification task. Next. So these 6 discriminative nucleus features can provide a discriminative can be used for classification of normal cell images and abnormal cell images. So these are the reference what I have used. Now I will show you how this shape features can be calculated using MATLAB. So this is the MATLAB code for calculating the these 11 shape features. So here I am taking the image. Now, if this image is in RGB format, then we have to convert it into gray. If it is not gray, then we will keep it like this. And then using this U equal to into binary gray, we can convert this grayscale image into binary image. Then from here we can get the number of rows and columns, that is the dimension of the image. And from this, from the whole image, we will calculate all the pixels whose values is 1, because in binary image we will have only zeros and ones, where 0 represents the black images and 1 represents the white images. So for our case, the segmented image is the nucleus pixels of this. The nucleus image is of pixel 1. So we will
Joydeep,
calculate.
mute it. Mute it. Joydeep.
So we will calculate all the pixels whose values are 1. Then we can say that all of these pixels are 1. So it means this is the nucleus area. Next, we will calculate the boundary pixels here using this computing horizontal and vertical gradients of the binary image. Then after computing the this horizontal and vertical gradients, we will find out the magnitude and direction, that is the edge strength of the image. Then after finding out the magnitude and direction, we will convert this first boundary cell to numeric metric. Then we will get the number of boundary points. That means how many boundary points are there. So this is the perimeter of the total, this the whole nucleus. Next, I have used this region prop for extracting this geometric shape properties from the binary object U. U is our image. So
See the
from
asymmetry
this
between
image,
the
we
normal cell image and the abnormal cell image. Thank you.